Okay. So our next topic, guys, will be on actually a continuation of finding derivatives. So let me present this. Okay. Okay. So last time we had the theorems on finding the power formula, di ba? Power formula, you add your sum and difference, you add your product rule, and your quotient rule. Ngayon naman, we'll extend it to some more theorems on derivatives. So let's have first the derivative of the natural exponential e to the x is as itself, okay? And then if we extend this, if the exponent of e becomes a certain expression in terms of x, so all you have to do is to copy the whole thing e to the u, and then you just multiply with the derivative of the exponent. And then derivative of ln x is 1 over x. And then the derivative of ln u, wherein your the argument of the natural logarithm is not anymore just x, it's an expression in terms of x. You just have to multiply also again with the derivative of that, and then divide by the argument. So parang pares lang itong number 9, yun nga lang yung u natin dito lalagay sa denominator, tapos yung itong u na to kuhanan natin ang derivative, lagay natin sa numerator. Okay? And then we also have this theorem. This is the generalized power formula, wherein if you have a u to the n, wherein u is not just x, you can just use the same principle. Yun nga lang, meron tayong derivative nung base afterwards. We just multiply with the derivative of the base. Let's have examples on this. So for example, let's have this number 1. So if you have y equals e to the x plus plus e to the 3x plus e squared, how do we get the derivative? So using rule number, anong rule number natin kanina? Rule number 7, we can just simply copy this as the derivative. Ito naman, parang e to the u yan. So we just have to get the derivative of the exponent, multiply it afterwards. And then what is e squared? E squared is constant. So constant, so the derivative of constant will just be 0. So ito yung magiging derivative niya. Right? So e to the x copy, and then copy natin yung e to the 3x times the derivative of 3x, kaya tayo may 3 dito. Okay, and then this is just, you can also use the generalized formula for the e to the u. Nga lang, the derivative of 2 will just be 0, or simply we know this is e squared, which is constant, 0 na automatic yan. So that's why we have this. Any question? Okay, wala. So let's have the second example. The second example, what if we have y equals e to the x squared minus 5 plus 3? Okay, so to get the derivative, again, the first term, e to the x squared minus 5, again, this is some sort of an e to the u. So to get the derivative of that, you just have to copy e to the x squared minus 5, and then you multiply with the derivative of x squared minus 5. What is the derivative of x squared? So that is 2x, and then the derivative of negative 5 is 0. So this will just be 2x e to the x squared minus 5. Notice we have a constant on the second term. The derivative is 0, so we don't need to write that. Okay, malinaw? Okay, next example. How about this? So very similar lang to sa second example natin. So the same thing, we copy e to the 2x plus 5, and then the derivative of 2x plus 5, so that would just be 2. Kasi ang 5, derivative of 5 will be 0. Minus, what's the derivative of e to the x, which is itself. That's why we have this. Okay, malinaw po ba? May tanong as of this time? Wala? Okay, let's have example number 4. How about this? So medyo gawin natin ng konting twist. So notice this one is a division. So we will basically use the division rule here, or the quotient rule, to get the derivative of this. So recall natin yung quotient rule. We copy the denominator, derivative of the numerator, minus copy the numerator, derivative of the denominator, all over the square of the denominator. So that's why we have this. Okay? Malinaw? So itong 3e to the 5x is the denominator. We copy the denominator, and then the derivative of e to the x is itself, which is e to the x, and then minus, we copy again e to the x, and then derivative of the denominator. So derivative of constant is 0. Derivative of e to the 5x is e to the 5x times the derivative of 5x. That's why we have 5 there. Okay, all over this squared. So we can actually simplify this in this manner. So what happened here, dinistribute ko lang yung e to the x. So naging 3 e to the x, e to the 5x plus e to the x, di ba? Same base, so we add the exponent. So 5x plus x becomes 6x. And then ito rin, so e to the x times 5 e to the 5x. So ganun din, same base. So magiging 6x ito times 5. So we just again combining like terms. So we have this. Okay. Question? Any question, guys? Malinaw ba? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, kung may tanong, just interrupt me anytime. Or I'll just tell me that you want to ask para hindi tayo mabala. But if you want, you can always disturb my discussion and you can always ask. Okay, next. Let's have number 5. So what about this? So the same thing, e to the x cubed minus 1. So e to the u pa rin siya. So this will just be e to the u, which is e to the x cubed minus 1. So kinopya ko lang yung e to the x cubed minus 1. Derivative of x cubed minus 1. So 3x, 3 minus 1. So this becomes 2. And then ganun ulit ito, derivative of negative x is negative 1 e to the negative x. Kopyahin lang natin si e to the negative x. And then we just simplify, so it will turn out like this. Okay. Okay, number 6. So how about this? Kung kanina, puro plus minus and then meron tayong quotient. Ito naman, notice, we have a product here. So kapag may product tayo dito, we just have to use product rule. How do we use again product rule? So yung product rule, kopyahin natin yung first factor, derivative, and then multiply with the derivative of the second factor plus, copy the second factor, derivative naman ng first. So your y prime will be what? So kinopya ko yung first factor na x squared, and then next is I have to get the derivative of e to the x cubed. So this would be e to the x cubed, kinopya ko siya, derivative ulit nung ating exponent, so we have 3x squared here. And then plus, copy the second factor, e to the x cubed, and then derivative of 2x, so we have derivative of x squared, so we have 2x. And then we just simplify. Okay. Question? Okay, so wala ulit. So let's continue. How about this? Ay, sorry. Ito naman. What about this? How do we get the derivative of this? So notice your f of x can be written as in exponent form as this one. So yung fourth root of x squared plus 5, I can write this as x squared plus 5 raised to 1/4. Okay, so with this is some sort of a u to the n naman. So yung rule number 11 natin. So if I take on the derivative, ang mangyayari, I just copy the exponent, bring down, and then copy the base, and then the same thing, 1/4 minus 1, kaya naging negative 3/4 ito. And then bakit meron tayong 2x dito? This 2x came from the derivative of the base. So the derivative of x squared will be 2x, derivative of 5 will be 0. That's why we have a 2x here. Simplify natin ito. So magka-cancel out yung 2. So magiging 1/2 na lang. And then x put it in the numerator. Ito lagay natin denominator. Or you can just leave it as is. Or you can place this in the denominator para maging positive yung exponent. Or you can leave it that like. Okay. Question? Okay, kung walang tanong, let's continue. How about this one? Okay, ito naman, we can actually write this as this, right? Or you can treat this actually as quotient rule, pero this will be simpler if we follow this format, or if we write it into exponential form. So your h of x can be written in this one kasi nasa denominator, pag tinaas, naging negative na exponent. So if you take on the derivative, so h prime will be negative 1. Lagay natin si negative 1 dito. Negative 1 lang yan. Or you can just write negative. And then copy the base. Negative 1 minus 1, kaya naging negative 2 ito. Okay, times the derivative ulit ng base. Derivative of 1 is 0. Derivative of negative 3x ay negative 3. And then we just simplify. Okay. Or you can again put this in the denominator para may 3 over 1 minus x, 3x raised to 2 tayo. Okay.
Sir, pwede pong paulit-ulit.
Dalawang beses. Alin ang ulitin ng ulitin?
From the top po.
Ha?
Kasi sir, parang ang bilis po.
What do you mean from the top? E di panoorin niyo na lang ulit. Kasi
Diyan lang po sa may ano na yan, sa may example po na yan.
akala ko. Kasi pag sinabi natin from the top iha, simula tayo sa simula. Diyos ko Lord.
Oh, sorry po.
Ulitin natin. Ganyan. Ito, di ba 1 over 1 minus 3x siya. So 1 over 1 minus 3x, ito, dahil sa nasa denominator ito, pwede natin siyang iangat. Di ba? Pag inaangat natin, ano nangyayari sa exponent niya? Ano nangyayari?
Negative.
Ano yan, Gabriel? Pag inangat natin mula sa denominator, nilagay na sa taas, ano nangyayari sa exponent niya?
Nagiging negative, sir.
Okay, naging negative. Kaya pag sinulat natin yung 1 over 1 minus 3x, pwede natin isulat siya as 1 minus 3x raised to negative 1. Kasi yung 1 minus 3x natin, parang 1 yung exponent niya dyan. Pag inangat mo siya, magiging negative 1 yung exponent. Pero take note ha, yung exponent nitong buo ha, hindi lang yung 3x or hindi lang yung 1. Yung buong 1 minus 3x ang inangat natin, kaya siya may negative 1 na exponent. So rule number 11 natin, di ba, if you take on the derivative, ang ginagawa natin, ibababa natin yung exponent. This is negative 1, or just write negative, that would be fine. Copy the base, parang u to the n minus 1. Pataging negative 2 ito. Negative 2 kasi negative 1 minus 1, kaya naging negative 2. Saan naman galing yung negative 3? Galing sa derivative nitong base. So derivative ng 1 ay 0, derivative ng negative 3x ay negative 3. Negative times negative, positive. And then we have that. Okay? Malinaw po ba?
Yes, sir. Thank you po.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, may tanong pa po ba? Huwag namang from the top na ulitin. Ha? Panoorin nyo na lang ulit. Naka-record naman siya, so you can watch it again in YouTube. I'll be uploading this later. Okay? Ayun, quiz na pala yung susunod. Quiz na agad. Wait lang. Let me stop the sharing. Baka may makita kayo ang hindi nyo dapat makita. Then,
Nakakayak, pakita mo sa amin sagot.
sagot agad, pwede yung tanong. Okay, parang wala tayong mga example on the other theorem. Wait lang. Parang wala tayong example on the natural logarithm. Hanap lang ako. Wait lang, guys. Okay, so I think I have some here. So let's try to ganun. Wait lang. Okay, I think this would be Okay, I can just make new problems, make new question. Okay. So let's have some more examples before I show you the quiz that I prepared, supposed to be.
Sir, yung quiz na yan, sir, yung nandun sir sa Jewel class.
No. It's a different one. Just make a new one. Okay, so let me present this again. Okay, so I believe wala pa tayong example on Okay, so do you see a blank screen here? So let me just make one. So ang wala pa tayong example is on the rule number 9 and then 10. So let's make it. Ano yung huli nating example number 2. So let's number this number 3. Okay. Nakikita nyo ba, guys? Okay. So let's have y equals, simple muna tayo, ln of so 1 minus 2x, for example. How do we get the derivative of this? Okay. So to get the derivative of that, okay, all you have to do is to follow rule number 10, right? So y prime will be what? So kapag meron tayong ln, ilalagay lang natin daw sa denominator yung argument, yung 1 minus 2x. Ilalagay natin muna si 1 minus 2x sa denominator. Tapos sa numerator, ilalagay natin yung derivative nitong 1 minus 2x. Ano yung derivative ng 1 minus 2x?
2. Negative 2.
Negative 2. Kasi ang derivative ng 1 ay 0, derivative ng negative 2x ay negative 2. So yun na yun. Basta tayo. Okay, question? Gawin natin medyo komplikado ng konti. Okay, so let's call this number 4.
Sir, yan na sir yung answer nun. Okay.
Okay, let's have say y equals ln of say x cubed plus 3, say 5x minus 2, for example. Paano naman ganito? How do we get the derivative of this? Okay, how do we get the derivative of this? Okay.
Same pattern lang din, sir.
Same pattern. So we again place yung ating naandito sa loob. Let me copy it. Okay, ito sa denominator.
5.
Okay? Yung x cubed plus 5x minus 2. Tapos yung sa numerator, we will get the derivative of that argument, yung x cubed plus 5x minus 2. So ano yung magiging derivative niyan? Ang derivative ng x cubed magiging 3.
1. Ay, 3.
Okay.
Bakit sir naging 3?
3x squared, right? Tama?
Bakit sir naging 3 squared dyan?
Ang derivative ng x cubed ay lalagay lang natin sa baba yung 3. Ma-minus natin yung 1 yung exponent. Okay, and then plus derivative ng 5x, that would be 5. And then derivative ng negative 2, 0.
Negative.
Yun na yun. Okay, malinaw po.
Yes, sir.
Isa pa. Papatay na isa pa. Make it number 5. Lagyan natin ng konti pang twist. Lagyan natin ng ganun. 1 minus 3x and then say, let's call this say x squared. X squared plus 5. Okay, ignore it. Actually, there are two ways on how we can approach this, pero let me show you first how you do it using a longer method. Okay, long method tayo. So how do we get the derivative? Okay, sorry. Okay, longer method tayo. Okay, let's call it y prime.
Pero sir, pwede rin sir short method John.
Actually, I'll show you the shorter method, pero it involves parang additional topics. Okay?
Okay po. Pero sir, ano sir mas madali sir? Yung long method or yung short method?
It depends upon you. Depends upon kung paano nyo siya maiintindihan. Okay? So again, so if we take on the derivative of ln, lalagay natin ulit yung ito, di ba, yung nasa loob ng ln denominator. Tama? And then yung sa numerator, derivative dito ay kaso yung nasa loob ng ln natin ay quotient. So we will perform quotient rule. Di ba? Ang quotient rule, una, ilalagay natin yung denominator. You would remember. Ayun na. Ayun na. Diba yung nalagay muna natin yung denominator. Tapos we will square it, right? Lagyan natin ito sa ganito. Tapos square, okay? And then copy the denominator, okay? Times the derivative of the numerator, which is in this case, ano derivative ng numerator natin? It will be negative 3.
Negative 3 po.
Okay, very good. Minus, copy natin yung numerator.
Negative 2.
Derivative ng numerator ay copy ng numerator 1 minus 3x. And then derivative naman nung denominator. So, ang derivative ng denominator, ang derivative ng x squared ay 2x, right? And derivative ng 5 ay 0. So ito na yung kinalabasan. Okay?
Okay sir.
Then simplify na lang natin
Ayan
siya.
sir yung sagot. Ano?
I-simplify pa natin, di ba? Ano nangyari? Wait lang, naghang yung aking PowerPoint. Okay. So we can still simplify this. Okay ko na lang para madali. Ito, meron tayong x squared plus 5. Meron x squared plus 5. So parang pwede nating i-cancel yan. Diba? I can cancel one of the x squared plus 5. Mawawala tong isa, di ba? Tama? So mapupunta na lang sa denominator ito. Okay? Got it? So ang mangyayari ito, I can now rewrite this as mawawala na yung C. Yan. Ay, nangyari. Okay? Tapos ito ilalagay ko naman sa okay, it will be a product of this. Okay? Tapos mawawala na tong isa. So ito matitira na lang. Ganyan na lang siya, di ba? Kasi if you would remember, if you try to get the pag-division ng fraction, di ba? What you do with the divisor, you get the reciprocal. Okay? Naintindihan ba yon?
Parang medyo mabilis sir.
Medyo lang. Gawin natin.
Medyo lang.
Natin. Okay. From here, ko to wait. Okay. Ito, kapag meron tayong division, di ba, division, how do we divide fraction again? When we divide fraction, we multiply and then we get the reciprocal, di ba, of the denominator. Ito yung nasa denominator, so mapupunta ito sa numerator, yung x squared plus 5 natin. Yan niya. Plus 5, di ba? Tapos, yung denominator maging ganito, yung 1 minus 3x na lang. Yan, di ba? Parang yung denominator natin binaligtad. So, pwede nating i-cancel yung itong x squared plus 5 at saka, di ba dalawang parang x squared plus 5 times x squared plus 5 yan? So, mawawala na lang yung isa. So, matitira ito, yung nasa taas, kaya ito na siya. Got it? And then x squared plus 5 is there. And then 1 minus 3x is here. Okay? Kuha.
Okay na.
Malinaw po ba? Okay, so let me clear the drawings. Okay, so let me move this first para may space ako. Okay, so I can now simplify the numerator. Let me copy it here. So magiging negative 3. Okay, I think I need more space. So can I just copy this to the next page? Para may space tayo. Okay, here. Okay, and then we simplify this. So magiging, okay, so yung 3, magkakaroon tayo dito ng negative 3. Right, and then negative 3 times 5, so this becomes negative 15, right? So mawawala na to. Okay, minus, ito magiging 1 times 2x, magiging 2x na lang ito. Ito namang negative 3x times 2x, so magiging negative 6, but we have here an x squared. Okay. Natin siyang x squared. Wait lang guys ha. I'll erase some of this. So mawawala na to. Ay, nari. Okay. Ito na lang natira. Nakasunod ba guys? Yan. Tama? So nag-distribute lang tayo, nag-multiply lang tayo. So negative 3 times x squared. So nagkaroon tayo ng negative 3x squared, and then 5 times negative 3, nagkaroon tayo ng negative 15. 1 times 2x ay 2x, and then negative 3x times 2x, so negative 6x squared. Okay, andyan po ba kayo? Hello?
Yes po, sir.
Hello.
Okay,
Yes,
combine
sir.
like terms tayo. So negative 3x squared. Negative 3x squared. Take note guys, negative ito. So negative, so plus 6x squared siya. So mangyayari, matitira positive 3x squared. And then ito, negative 2x. So ilalagay natin si negative 2x. Okay. And then wala namang constant. So 15 na lang. So ang natira sa denominator, ay sa numerator, ay ito na lang. So burahin na natin yung iba.
Sir, paulit ang bilis.
Okay, ulitin natin. So galing yun ulit dito, di ba? Negative 3x squared minus.
Yes, sir, sa baba po. Sa baba na po.
Ito na nga,
Sa
ito
baba,
na
sir.
nga. Ito na nga. Oh, negative 3x squared minus negative 6x squared. So negative times negative ay positive. So magiging negative 3x squared plus 6x squared. Ilan yun? Magiging positive 3x squared. Ito na yun. Next, itong negative 2x, wala naman siyang ibang kapareha. So kinupi lang natin negative 2x at saka si negative 15, nilagay lang din natin. Kinopya ko lang din yung nasa denominator. So ito yung natira. Okay? Malinaw? Malinaw po ba?
Yes po, sir.
So that's it. What will be the shorter one? The shorter method. I'll show you the shorter method. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. The shorter method, you need to have a knowledge on properties of logarithms. In properties of logarithms is that if we have the logarithm of a quotient, pwede mong i-break down yung logarithm na to. Paano natin siya i-break down? Yung logarithm na yan, pwede nating hiwalayin na ang ln of, kapag may numerator sa denominator, ln of the numerator minus ln of the denominator siya. So pwede mo siyang isulat in this manner. Wait lang. Para tipid na, sorry. Okay. Minus. At liit. Minus control V yan. Ba't ang liit? Ano nangyayari? Ang problema nitong aking con. Anyway, gayahin na lang natin. So, ito. So, ln nung numerator magiging 1 minus 3x. Okay. Minus ln ng denominator. So, itong x squared plus 5. Plus 5. Okay. So, pwede mo na siyang isulat ng ganito. Malinaw ba to guys? So kapag may ln ng quotient, you can just simply get ln of the numerator or the dividend minus ln of the divisor. Tapos ito, pwede na tayong kumuha ng derivative dito. Mas simple na to. Wala nang quotient rule. Diba? So when you take on the derivative, okay? Ganun. When you take on the derivative, mangyayari, paano ulit ang pagkuha ng derivative? Okay, so ang mangyayari, we just have to have a simpler way on taking the derivative. Ang mangyayari, ilalagay lang natin ulit yung ating magiging magkakantay ng 1 minus 3x, okay? And then derivative ng 1 minus 3x, so magkakaroon ng negative 3. Burin natin ito. Minus, ganun ulit. Okay, so kunin lang natin ito. Okay. Tapos, sa numerator niya, 2x. Right? Oh, sabi, bakit magkaiba to sir? Ito at saka ito. Dapat magkaparehas yan. Pwede mo to, pag pinagsama mo to, ito ang lalabas. So, paano natin siya pagsasamahin? So, we just have to have, okay, di ba pag ganyan, pinagsasama natin, okay, so 3 times this. Ay, sa aking cursor. Minus 2x times ito. Algebra na lang ginagawa natin guys ni. Okay, so I think that's it. Okay, so this becomes negative 3x squared. This becomes negative or positive 6x cubed, 6x squared, minus 2x, minus 15. So ito lang din ang kakalabasan niya. Okay, so if we go further, ganun din ang lalabas. Magiging negative 3x squared ito. Okay, I'm just expanding guys ha. So tapos ito ay magkakaroon tayo dito ng minus 15. So and distribute ko lang ito and then this becomes minus 2x. and a plus 6x squared, right? Okay. So pag simplify natin ito, yun ang lalabas niya. Ito na siya. Okay. So parehas lang din, mas simple yung manipulation na ginawa natin. Malinaw ba? Hello? Are you still there? Guys, are you still there? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Boy pa? May tanong? So, if you know how to use these properties of logarithm, pwede mo rin siyang gamitin and then you'll come up with the same result. Comparing to the first method, medyo mahaba-haba siya, di ba? Tapos masyadong masalimuot yung pagsisimplify natin. Unlike this, medyo simple lang yung pinalabasan. Okay? So I think that's all for today. I'll again give you an assignment. Maybe I'll be posting it later. And then you will submit it next week. Isang linggo naman yun. Siguro mga limang tanong lang yon, and then pwede niyong gawin, you can just simply write the solution in a piece of paper and then take a picture, tapos ito turn in o hand in nyo dun sa Google Classroom. Okay ba yon?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, I think that's it.
Okay po, sir.
Unless may tanong pang iba, meron pa tayong a few minutes that we can spare.
Sir, ganyan, sir, yung gagawin namin, sir, doon, sir, sa ibibigay mong assignment.
Yeah.
Ganyan na ganyan.
Yeah, most
Okay
probably
po.
very similar. Okay, so any more questions? Chat pala dito, good PM po, sir. I see Mr. Okay, so wala nang tanong? O kung wala na, will you please show your faces just for the usual